What's up, everyone? You know what night it is? Wednesday night, off-centered with Dustin, the personal grazing cow. He's actually sipping on something special tonight. It's our new sponsor who's paying Dustin very handsomely. But anyway, this week, I went to PSA. I actually went to the headquarters Collectors Universe down in Irvine, and I picked up my PSA order. So I'll talk a bit about how that went because it did not go as expected, but it was interesting. And then earlier today, I actually went to the Dibs headquarters in, El Segundo. Yeah, I was like, what was it? It's not El Fuego, El Segundo. So I'll talk a bit about that and see whatever Dustin has to say, if he has anything worthwhile to say or not. So y'all know the drill. Welcome back. Now let's get to work. Let's bring him on. Oh, he's already showing off the sponsor. There it is.
Is that
frozen?
It exploded. I put it in the freezer and forgot about it, and then pulled it out, and yeah, it's an iceberg.
Okay, I was gonna say, did your Coke Zero come like that? Is that a new special flavor?
Yeah.
Iceberg.
I also got the 45-minute timer going.
Justin can't wait for this show to end. Yeah, this might be a shorter show, about 45 minutes or so. I think we're both a bit just drained with a lot of things going on in our worlds and in life. But the cool thing is that football is great right now, at least for me and the Bucs fans. I know your season's pretty much over with, but I don't really care.
We'll find out on Sunday night.
We will. Let's say hi to a couple of people in the chat. Brian Sherlin, good to see you. Go Bucs. That's right. I got my John Lynch jersey on. Corey, good to see you as well. David, thank you so much, as always, for doing the entire newsletter and just sending it on to me so I could send it out to y'all. Make sure to sign up at thecomebackcardmaster.com for David's wonderful insights and my decent formatting. AJ, good to see you from Japan. Domo arigato, Mr. Rose. Go Bolts. Go Bolts. Go Bolts. That's all I could say. Good to see a global sports card investor as well. Let's see. Charles is in the house. What's up, Charles? Jim is in the house as well. Steven Sass. Oh, yeah. Dude, this is from, I think, like 1999 or 2000. This is very old. This is like
that was
the original one I had as a kid.
That was the last time Brad was a fan. The last time they won a Super Bowl with John Lynch in 2003 or 5 or whatever.
2002. The Bolts won in 2004 in hockey. That was a big year. And then it was kind of like, okay, this kind of sucks. And then all of a sudden.
Yeah. What do you mean you're 8-8? I'm not going to watch for the next 15 years.
It's just frustrating, man. Like, it's hard. Like, I'm an Orlando Magic fan. I don't know if there's a tougher NBA fan base, a tougher franchise out there than Orlando. Maybe there's one or two, but that's a pretty tough one overall. So I gotta milk this while it lasts.
If the NFL is smart, they'll roll out Drew Brees on Sunday night for one showdown game against Tom Brady. But wouldn't that be amazing, like WWE style, where they actually do surprising stuff like that?
I mean, anything WWE style would be incredible. And then, there's like this square off between Tom Brady on the microphone versus Drew Brees, and there's some drama that we didn't know about. And then, Jason Pierre-Paul hits Drew Brees with a steel chair. And anyway, my mind's going completely different directions. Yeah, John Lynch, what a great guy on and off the field. I really love him I loved him as an anchor, but then as an executive as well. I think he's with the 49ers still. Let's see. I don't know what records Tom Brady hasn't broken yet. Didn't he take over all of Drew Brees' records already?
Yeah, he broke the completions record last week, I think. Over the last couple of weeks, the Drew Brees had the most completions, and Brady took that one.
Gotcha. Did you see the F1 finale? Because I heard about the results. I just am not into it at all.
So my brother, so this is funny because we'd been talking about F1 cards being kind of faddish, is this just the next whatever thing? And I was talking to my brother, he's your age, one of them, he's 34. And he was like, hey, are you watching the race? I think this was Sunday morning. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, this F1 race. I'm like, you don't watch F1. And then he's like, no, you got to watch the you have to watch the Netflix series. And then once you watch the series and you understand the behind the scenes and you get to know the guys, the drivers and all that, then it makes this a lot better. And I was like, man, I thought they were just all like full of crap. Like when I was watching, hobby people talking about F1 cards, I'm like, well, maybe that's a thing, And he said that one of the race, I think Lewis Hamilton got screwed at the end.
I heard something like that. Yeah. It's interesting.
Like a caution or something to where basically the way my brother explained it is like Lewis Hamilton was winning the whole race. And then at the end, it was basically like, all right, we're going to go one lap. It's like sudden death. All of a sudden we're like Lewis Hamilton was winning the entire race. And then now they're like, all right, one lap, winner takes all, and then Lewis Hamilton lost. Something to that effect.
How does that work? Isn't a race just a race? Like you go until you've done all the laps and then you go through the red and white checkered flag or something?
Apparently there was some sort of call on the track, call on the field, whatever that changed things.
Like a false start type of thing?
I don't know.
Intentional grounding? Okay. What's funny though is I think we talked a bit about the documentary before, but I guess it really does introduce people to it. Maybe if the documentary is enticing enough and it shows enough the background drama and storylines, because I've heard this from a few people now, then it's more than just race. Now it's the rivalry. It's kind of like Talladega Nights. Like,
right.
Funny movie, but what really makes the race better, even in the movie, is all the drama between John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell and his dad and all that stuff. So,
right.
Anyway, something like that. The Tom Brady jersey, Jeff, is a medium. This is actually a champion 44. I don't know what that means, but it feels pretty large to me. And champion, I think, was like the name brand back in 1999. So take that, Dustin.
Is that? I feel like that's a small size. Is that like to your waist? Is that like
look, this is big. Like this is pretty big, right?
Okay, but it's not long though. All right.
It's pretty long. I mean, it's the perfect size. The Tom Brady one's a bit small. That one was a medium, but it makes my guns look huge. So, that's the good part. Okay. That would be crazy if the league shut down and cards went back up. Anyway, man. So,
everyone's hoping for another like pandemic shutdown for cards.
Dude, I mean, like the worst thing to happen to cards is sports actually going on.
Well, dude, now it's actually the opposite is about to happen. I should make a video on this. I shouldn't even talk about it. No, but I don't know if you saw this, but was it PAL or anyway? They announced there's going to be three interest rate hikes in the U.S. in 2022. So it's kind of like it's like the opposite of stimulus. If you think about
it, it's actually like, hey, we've kind of gone overboard on this inflation thing. Now we got to not loan out so much money anymore and actually kind of draw it back in. So was that today's news or was this earlier this week?
I felt like it was either today or yesterday. It was fairly new.
Okay, well that's really big though, because that could really affect the spending of a lot of people. And I don't know the situation of most people out there, but the average American, the average person, has credit card debt, doesn't save that much, is paycheck to paycheck. So that is kind of scary when, if you're getting by now based off of, loans and stimulus and just a thriving economy, because any startup is getting funded and any business has customers, then that's kind of scary going forward. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects credit.
I would respond to Will there. Interest rate hikes were expected. No big news. The thing is that common sense would tell you that we needed interest rate hikes, but that doesn't mean that the politicians are going to actually do it though. It's like that's a whole different thing, because it's not typically a popular move. It usually has a negative effect on the stock market. It usually has other effects that are not popular. So yes, they might have been expected. It's not like shocking news, but for them to actually carry it out is another thing.
Okay, let's just say they do carry out all three that they announced. Did they announce numbers in terms of what points? Mm-hmm. And then what effect would you imagine this having on the card market? I mean,
typically now, again, like, of course, the card market's kind of funky because it's more alternative investment type stuff, but typically it affects the stock market in a negative way. It has historically anyway. But I don't know, the world is weird and who knows how it'll all respond. But 2 weeks away from baby step 7. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey thing, but go on.
Oh, okay. I thought that was baby number 7. That's how I read that. I was like, man,
yeah, good luck.
I'm drowning in babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the economy as a whole, it's kind of like, but I agree. It's one of those things where I think it's ironic. You hand out stimulus and everybody's happy about the stimulus money. And then it just comes roaring back to where like your money doesn't go far enough. Your money doesn't go far enough. And now they have to reel it back in. It's just a funny cycle, Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's also people think they want something without thinking it through, but it's also just in everything. It's like in everything. It's like, I want the shiny object, but do you know the cost? Do you know how things work? And so, I got to give Brian Sherlin credit because Brian Sherlin has been saying for a while, and I know this is a bit off topic. This is a long time. He's like gold and silver. And typically when it's expected that the economy is going to crash, people flock to gold and silver. Maybe the rich will go to sports cards, like the really high end ones and stuff like that, because the high end market looks like it's doing just fine. It's everything else. Like, look, when the interest rates go up, if I knew those dates, I'm going to look into it, but I want to liquidate all of my cards, my middle tier cards, like cards that I want to sell right now. But I know that tier, that second tier, not that like super rare stuff, not below that, but that $200 to $2,000 card, the person that's buying that, I think is in the category, the average person buying those cards and selling those cards, I think they're in the category of getting screwed. Not like getting screwed, but like in a bad situation when interest rates go up. But the super wealthy, the ones that are dealing with $25,000, $30,000 cards, $50,000 cards, $100,000 cards, I think they're just so set that will just be their playground and it won't really matter.
Yeah, there's so many variables in card prices that don't have anything to do with inflation. That's just like one piece of it. But I mean, there's so many moving parts.
Yeah. Interesting. By Ricardo here. I don't know. I'll have to look at it, but I will say this. This is something I've been thinking about is learning about sports cards over the last 2 years and all the human behavior behind it. Behavior economics? What's that? Behavioral economics? Isn't that like the topic? Whatever it is.
Sounds good to me.
Economics, how it all works. Learning so much about this. I'm so excited to invest because I never really invested in stocks or gold and silver or crypto or anything. I'm actually way more confident in investing in these other things from what I've learned from sports cards. And I know that might be off topic, but like if you've been in this for a year and a half, and you've seen how people react and how supply and demand work in multiple ways, like I think it's pretty cool because I'm like, damn, crypto sounds pretty easy. Gold and silver sounds really easy. Stocks sound pretty easy compared to what this world is. So anyway, I'm definitely looking to sell those cards. Let's talk a bit about PSA because long story short, a year ago, I submitted 374 base cards, like cheap stuff, the stuff that's gumming up the works, that's holding everyone up. But back a year ago, it was a really good move. And a lot of them were Tom Brady cards. A lot of them were, I think, like just $3 to $5 cards that you really couldn't go wrong at $10 a piece to grade. And I did look over all of them. I just felt really good about it. But the headquarters of PSA is down in Irvine. So it's literally about 50-minute drive for me. And you can't really pick up the cards. There's not really a system to pick up cards unless you are a card shop or like bulk submitter or something like, not bulk submitter, but like one of the third parties that actually does it and has a partnership. And it was annoying because I go, this is like a 40-pound box of cards that's 45 minutes away. The declared value is something like $30,000. And that's based on a year ago, thinking a lot of them would be tens. I did not want to pay shipping on this because I don't know what shipping would be, but I imagined 40-pound box, big box, $30,000 declared value. This has got to be like, I don't know, in my mind, $150 to $200, right? Something like that. What did you say? Like $200 or something? I don't know. We'd have to do the math, but
a lot.
So
Yeah.
Well, I said, look, I don't know how I can pick this up, but what I did is I had them mail my order to the FedEx that was a mile away from them, and just to hold at their location. That was the goal, is just hold it there. If I can't actually go to PSA's headquarters, I'll go a mile away and pick it up. I just don't want you're not going to send it to my home because no one's going to be there more than likely. If you send it to my PO box, I don't know if they'll accept it if it's FedEx, because they're kind of like, we don't do well with FedEx or something like that. I just wanted to be able to pick it up, and this seemed like the closest thing. Long story short, not even that, not long story long, short story long, that they deliver it to the FedEx, and the FedEx declines it. And I'm like, oh, what the hell happened? I wanted just to go there and pick it up. Apparently the FedEx that they delivered it to does not hold at their location. So I had to talk to a rep, very nice guy, and explain, like, what do I do? I got 40 pounds of cards. I'm 45 minutes away. I just want to be able to pick this up. And so we talked, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you the number of the dude in charge of shipping and see if he can get the box back and you could just pick it up. But we usually don't do this because it's just, we're overwhelmed and whatever. So first things first, I got to shout out Andrew B. I think it's Andrew B at PSA's customer service. One of the best interactions I've ever had with a customer service rep, period. And then shout out to Alfonso at PSA, who was the guy that I actually met up with when I went to Collectors Universe and picked it up in person. Very nice guy. So I will say, whoever is in charge of the customer service department, every person I spoke with, incredibly cordial, incredibly helpful, and not what I expected, because the average interaction with a random company is usually like hit or miss, but both of them were very, very professional and helpful. And so I actually felt
once you told them, like, hey, if you don't do this right, I'm going to talk about you on my YouTube channel. Then they were like, oh yes, we'll have that for you immediately.
Here's the funny thing is that, like, I didn't know if I don't know if they have seen any of the YouTube videos, if they know who I am. They definitely don't know who you are, but regardless,
they know.
But the point is that I didn't know, but my username is not the Comeback Art Investor or anything like that. But anyway, I was able to pick it up. I have a whole box back here. Let's see where it's at. Let me see if I can.
I love how you're positioning this on the live stream. I know what really happened. You went in there like a diva. Like, where the hell are my cards?
Where the hell are my cards? I'm going to put you on blast. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
Where's Nat Turner? Where's Nat Turner?
Fireball. Fireball. Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be funny. But, obviously I don't want to behave like that.
And I'm sure you're probably going to put it on a video or whatever. Were you happy, not happy with the overall grades, or can you give
not opened them, man? Dude,
I haven't opened it yet.
So this is literally yesterday I picked them up, or the day before, I forgot. I think the day before, but it's 374 cards. It's a lot of junk wax. I'm going to make a video, but I'm going to have to speed through some of it because that's just too many cards to do the whole process through. But I decided, hey, you know what would be fun is to open one of my boxes right here on the live stream.
All right.
Yeah. There's it. Oh, well, we got a super chat.
Troy always coming
some
in big.
cyber dollar bills.
Troy's always coming in hot with.
Appreciate it. Okay. So one thing I will say is that, first of all, they got rid of the StockX labels. I don't know how long ago that was, but my last submission had the StockX sponsored labels on.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So they got rid of that.
That was like a foreshadowing, like with the StockX box with Luber and.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's Fanatics. That's the other side of the coin. Never mind.
Yeah. I didn't know what you were talking about. I was just saying because I thought.
I'm glad you just agreed with me. But yes.
Okay.
Just they got rid of all their StockX boxes. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh man, this is good. All right. Okay. PSA 2. I hope not. I accidentally pressed on this one, Brian, but there we go.
I don't get him on this Golden Savior. Okay. Yeah.
9. Okay. So I don't even know it's here, but don't expect nice cards. All right. These are like base cards that I bought on Beckett Marketplace literally a year and a couple months ago that I submitted last year. Ooh. So actually, this is a good box. This is a good box because I see the first card already.
God, I
Not
hope
the
there's
10.
PSA 3s in here.
So actually, this is cool. The first card I got is a card that I believe Dustin was buying. This was a card Dustin was buying like 6 months ago. And he goes, yeah, what do you think of this card? And I said, yeah, I'm sending 46 of those to PSA.
It's a select Tom Brady.
This is actually probably one of the better cards in here. Probably one of the best. It's just a base card, but it is first year select, PSA 9.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a bunch of 9s. I want to do these last because that might actually be the best card in this entire submission. So, oh crap! I think the whole pile is that.
It's the same card.
Yeah. Oh my god, it is. Oh my god! So this entire box, literally,
the pop report literally just went up by like 500%.
Yeah, guys, if you check the pop report of Tom Brady first year select PSA 9s and you see a spike, these are all them. I just don't know what grades they are. But I mean, look, here's the thing. I paid very little for this card. This was, I think, $10 to get graded, right? $10 to get graded. And we're talking about, I think I paid for the entire set from Steel City Collectibles, $35 for cards 1 to 100, which included first year select Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. Not expensive cards, but $35 for the entire 1 to 100 set. And I got like 40 of those. So first card's a 9. Come on, give me some 10s. Give me some 10s. 9. Oh, man. Here we go. Chris is right. 9.
Oh, my God.
Maybe I can hold it up a different way. This better not be all 9s. Here we go. This is going to be better. All right.
Dude, you know the grader, you know that they were yelling at him like, 9. Grade faster. And this dude was like, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
It's like the teacher that just gives all the students Bs. You know what I mean?
Right.
9.
Let's go 9. Let's go 9.
9. I mean, these are in great shape. I went through all of these things. So, come on, man. Come on, man. Yes. All right.
All right. There you go.
This card right here will finally be. Oh, damn it! I'm missing. The next one's a 9.
You just slipped in 110, so there wouldn't be another customer service complaint.
Oh,
okay. There you go. Okay.
All right, there we go. So right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2. So 2 10s, 8 9s.
This is hilarious.
All right. Hey, what's it? 3 and 9, something like that.
Okay.
All right. Was that an 8? Man, that's an 8. Yeah. Man, come on.
He's like, I'll throw you another 10, but I'm. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. No, it's a 9. I was like, is there another 8 in there? Yeah.
9. Okay. Give me like at least 1 or 2 more 10s, please. I only got like 5 or 6 left.
Brad got the newest grader at PSA.
This is like ripping wax. At least I know that the worst is going to be like this card in a 7, right?
I just want one of them to be like a 5 and be like, why is this a 5?
It looks identical. It's just a 5. It just says FU. It's just FU right there.
Yeah, they just put the wrong label on there.
A 9. Okay, I thought it was an 8. So, all right, last one. I think this is a 9. Okay, 9. Well, that's the highlight of my return. Is I got 3 PSA 10s. So what's this worth? Like, what would you say?
Oh, dude, this is I don't know. Yeah, I'll look it up while we're talking. But
what's that worth, guys? Let me know.
This is the where it's like, thank God grading was $10 a card, because if you had paid $50, $100 card, whatever, you're getting absolutely annihilated.
Well, look, the best thing I did in hindsight, I was really conservative early on, and then around December, January, I got a lot more high risk because there was a proven market, which of course disappeared after March, which really sucked. But in these cards, I was going downside way more than upside. So I would have made way more money if I just said, this is going to surge, this is going to keep surging. But I probably would have been way too leveraged or way too risky in my investments going forward, and I would have just crashed. So
recent sales on that. That's okay.
Sweet. I'll only lose a couple dollars.
142.50 and 192.50 within a couple days of each other. So
okay. So top 10, Brad has them all. Yeah, you know what's funny is that now, like, look, I get this back, and
I have one. I have one 10.
How much did you pay for yours?
200.
Okay, all right. So sweet. You want to buy a couple more?
I'll think about it, but probably no. There's so many other things.
Well, honestly, this is what I was thinking. The 374 cards, lots of like, not, I guess, junk slabs, but I mean, this is not a bad card. It's a base card, but it's not bad. At least it's Tom Brady, right? I'd rather have this than a rookie card of most of these players that, great, it's a rookie card, but they're not good. At least this is first year select Tom Brady for whatever that's worth. At the same time, I'm thinking maybe I just do a video of all of them and just sell them as a lot. And the reason why is because I don't want the time to sell 374 cards, whether it's in person or it's on My Slabs or eBay, sounds brutal because it's just packing, shipping, listing. Like it's the type of work I don't want to do, especially for low end cards where it's literally maybe lose $4 on an 8 or something, make $15 on a 9, and make $40 on a 10 times 374, whatever that is. So I was thinking what this could be. Can you sell as a lot on My Slabs? Because that would be great if I could. But the reason is because if you're like a young kid or you're someone that wants to get into cards, but you want to actually go to shows, like I think this could make sense if you want to go to shows and do the grunt work and say, all right, there's a $10 margin here, there's a $20 margin here, nothing big, but this could be a good kind of way to get in, where you buy a whole bunch of cards and you're the one that's willing to go to the shows, trade some, sell some, make a couple $100, and then just start it that way. But for the whole shipping and doing it online, it's just it's too brutal, and it's only for the right person. So something else thinking about.
I like it. Yeah, people are hunting for unique coasters. There's going to be slabs for that.
Yeah, that's interesting, Chris. I sold all of mine. I sold all of my 2013 Select first year boxes. I don't know what the pop report is on the boxes. I don't think there's that many because it was Select back in 2013. But I sold all of mine because the price was there. So here's, like, that's not a bad idea. I think it's 374 is a lot. And I don't know, maybe that's the answer. Maybe I set them to ComC, list them on eBay, and then just make like $10 per, like try and break even on the 8s, and again, the price per card, even on this, is like literally maybe $15 to $17. Like maybe $17 per card all in.
That's probably, I mean, that might be like if the PSA 10 sells for 200, it's probably like a $40 or $50 card in the 9. I'm guessing.
Yeah. I was thinking like yeah. So I mean, $50, and then I have worse players like Drew Brees and whatnot. So
the Brees will go for a lot more than that.
Well, to you, to the right person, I'll sell you the Brees to for $300. The person that buys this lot is a dealer who will buy them out of here. See, I wouldn't sell to a dealer because I'm not willing to lose money. I would sell, in which case I would just sell it individually or take my time or whatever. So it would have to be the right person that says, I know what I can make and I'm willing to give you this for it, and I'm good with that number. And if I'm not good, then I'll just hold it and sell myself.
I like PMN's comment. The bottom line on these cards is that you can't polish a turd. No platform will change that.
There you are. Hey, it's not a turd. What's funny is like this was considered like a great investment a year ago. This was like it's under the radar, and it was because what is a first year Prism?
It's because first year Prism. So you had first year Prism PSA 10. It was $1,000 card. What is that now? I mean, it was higher than that. I mean, Prism PSA 10 2012 was higher than that. Let me see what it looks like now.
Oh, Prism. Oh, I bet the height of a first year Prism Tom Brady card was probably like $400 to $500. David, I know you want one of these. I know you do.
No, a lot more than that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Dude, $3,000 at the height for a PSA 10 prism, and now it's $600 for a PSA 10
so
prism.
even a first year prism, Tom Brady is $600 right now.
Yeah.
And and this is 200. And what's the pop on that? What's the pop on the prism?
It's 280 PSA.
And this
10.
is about 80 something.
The thing is, though, is if you go back, so like it's 280 right now for PSA 10s. In April, so what, 7 months ago, it was 180. So it's gone up 100 over the last 6 months. It's gone up pretty dramatically.
Okay. And a lot of the other cards are Brady's as well. So the one thing I did right, but the first submission was a lot of Kobe's. This one was a lot of Brady's, is that at least I got the player right. Maybe
that was one thing. And I would say with a lot of your 2020 buys, that's what you did. You got like unique cards, like the Mike Tyson Dove card or whatever. And then you got like GOATs. But just like base card, smaller parallels or whatever.
And then what I did wrong in 2021 was I saw that, okay, now there's real money to be made in these rookie cards. And now I'm not afraid to drop $500, $1,000 for a card. And I did that in January when the peak was in March. And then a lot of it hasn't rebounded. So, the good thing is that like the good moves, I still believe have outweighed the bad, because I never bought at the peak. I always was like, really fearful, like I'm gonna sell, this is just stupid, but I didn't buy at the very bottom. So we'll see about that. I would have loved for there to be this giant Christmas rush, but I haven't seen anything like a crazy Christmas rush or pre-Christmas rush. Maybe there'll be a lot of eBay gift cards or whatnot out there.
I did give one of my buddies here a card for Christmas, and then my sister reached out to me because she was like, "Hey, I want to get my brother-in-law a card, and do you have any suggestions or whatever?" So people are buying cards as Christmas presents. It's happening. It's becoming more of a thing.
The other thing I want to say is I did go to Dibs. I went to Dibs headquarters. So a bit of an interesting story is, you remember that modeling job I did, that like random job out in the woods? Like I posted a picture of it. I looked like a lumberjack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this could be many jobs, I feel like. But anyway, go ahead.
That was the job where I learned that there's a term called lumber sexual, which is like metrosexual, but like woodsy sexual. And it was for a Lexus SUV. So it was a really cool job out in Durango, Colorado. And the team that was there was actually from California, was out of OC, and I talked to them, and they actually do work with Dibs, and they actually knew Dibs, and so we talked about sports cards and Dibs, and they actually connected me to Chris and Evan at Dibs, and so I went there today, and El Segundo, talked to them for a bit. Really exciting things what they're doing next year. Things because I don't really pay attention to Dibs. I haven't really gotten on it or like tried to sell, but a lot of combining NFTs with cards and being able to, I guess, combine both of those emerging technologies, platforms, collectibles, however you want to call it. And so, I'll be back and hopefully be doing like some sort of collaboration with them. Definitely have them on a live stream and get more clarity as to what they're doing next year, but definitely different than Alt and some of the others. So it was cool to go down there.
Yeah, I had a call with them a few months back, and I like those guys. It'll be interesting to see, because you're right. I mean, their platform is a little bit different than everything else. They are a little bit, unique, compared to all the other platforms. So I'm following them. And then, of course, there was that news that Amazon threw some money their way. So that's, of course, going to get some headline news. I think it was like $13 million
to Dibs.
Amazon put money into Dibs. Yeah,
I know Kevin Love's a big investor into Dibs and collects cards.
And Jeff SCI is in
yeah.
Too.
And that was a while ago, but I didn't hear Amazon did. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a recent thing. I heard that over the last couple of weeks. The Amazon.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't hear that though, because that sounds like
it's so big. I just feel like it's like what section of Amazon got in on Dibs. It's just kind of interesting. Maybe they want to integrate it into their platform somehow. I don't really know. Or if it's just like their acquisition group, I have no idea, You
know what I wouldn't be surprised about is that based on their technology and the way they're incorporating NFTs with things, it might just be a technology play where it's like you build out this platform and the system, and we're going to find ways for us to use it or just duplicate it. And the $13 million will be like nothing compared to what we can do with it on our massive, multi-billion dollar platform. So I did see a question about PSA grading or grading aside from PSA. And I'm not opposed for other people to do it. I just don't really believe in any other companies that much right now. And the big thing that really concerns me is the second PSA opens affordable tiers, like a 10, maybe not 10, but let's just say they do go down to $15 or $20. What's that going to do to the other grading companies? Is there really going to be, because I feel like the other companies are more of a temporary solution while PSA can't take on new business in that affordable tier. But once it opens up, it's like, what are these other companies' cards going to be worth when you can actually go to PSA for $15 and get that card back in 5 months?
Yeah, it's kind of the $1 million question. I really like SGC for certain things, especially on the vintage side, because they have respect on the vintage side from hobbyist collectors. So, I kind of think about that because I've got like national treasures, like Hall of Fame auto stuff. Like, what's an example? Here's like, a random, like, Lou Brock autograph. It's unlicensed for baseball. I'd like to have it in a slab, but do I want to pay $100 at PSA? No. But would I pay $28 at SGC and then I get the auto grade with it? Yeah. I mean, so I think there's certain cards that make sense, but I'm also not trying to resell that next week or in 6 months. If it works out like that to where, that auto is now $1,000 card, then great. But I'm not necessarily looking to flip it like that.
Yeah. And another thing is Chadley, I definitely believe it will, based on their progress and based on how big they've expanded and how much they'll have to downsize once they're caught up. Because I've mentioned that in the past. If you're caught up with the backlog and now you have 400 employees when a year and a half ago you only had 150 or 200, you're going to have to downsize and like get rid of half of your office space and half your employees and all that very quickly. I think they're going to wean off and then like really get a good flow going where they can still make money at $25 a card. Because I mean, if you're sending in cards, 100 cards, and it's $20 a piece, $25 a piece, it's still money to be made. It's just how fine-tuned is your process. And of course, you want to prioritize the high-end cards first. The other thing too is
Nat Turner, he's going to prioritize. He's talked about the set registry a lot, with all the stuff they're doing. And their company is called Collectors. I don't know if you saw, they took the universe off. Now it's just Collectors is their company.
No, I didn't see that. In their office, it still had universe.
Anyway. Oh, yeah, maybe in their office. But yeah, he was saying something like I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they switched it to Collectors. But my point is that they want to be collector focused. And he talks a lot about the set registry. They're going to have that $10 grading tier. I don't think it's going to be every card. I don't think Ultra Modern is going to be $10. But I think what will be $10 is if you're trying to complete a set of 1960 Topps baseball and you're sending in commons, and you're not going to pay $50 to get your commons graded. You're nobody's ever going to do that. So they're going to have probably a certain section of their grading team that just works on set registry stuff. They probably just break it off, I would assume, and give certain people that or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they do just have it, for cards they know aren't for flipping or aren't like speculative cards, but really just for a collector. Because they have had deals in the past or on their website where it'd be like pre-1980, $8 a card, or Pokemon, It would be like very cheap, but they would try and not deter people from sending in ultra modern basketball, but they would incentivize people for sending in the other stuff. But that's the other reason.
Oh, I was going to ask you, because I know you collected Pokemon some when you were younger from your collection, your previous collection, but have you seen that gem rate data where the last 2 months, the Pokemon stuff, like the Magic the Gathering and the Pokemon cards are like number one being graded at Pokemon as at PSA as far as like their volume goes. I thought that was wild, but then I was thinking back, think back a year ago when the Pokemon craze happened. Now all those cards are coming back like a tidal wave.
Well, one thing I got to say, remember this year was the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Remember? Like that was like the big thing, 25th anniversary. And I remember distinctly going, well, then why would I be buying like, when the hype is really high? Because once it hits the 25th anniversary, what else? That's like winning the Super Bowl, and then what? And I remember thinking, all right, I'm going to sell while everyone's talking about next year is the 25th anniversary. And I think that was a good move because so what? It's the 25th anniversary. Like,
Yeah,
that's it. Game over. That's the end of the game. I will say this though, on the grading is that, for those that are saying, hey, why don't you hold on to a lot of these Tom Brady cards? Like, why not hold on? It's a PSA 9. Why not hold on? Because there's a chance I could get more for it now selling, because not only is the pop count as low as it's going to be at this moment, but also if PSA does open up a $15 per card tier, now people might be looking at this card, and instead of attaching a $50 per card grading fee, like in their mind, they look at this card as like, oh, this is $10 plus $15 to grade. And so why would I pay more than $25, $30? So, it's like, in theory, it could make sense to hold very long-term, very, very long-term. But if PSA is going to be caught up and offer more affordable services soon, I feel like it's a race against time to get out and then let the population go up and let the servicing be quicker and faster. And, that's at least my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Now, you had said you're only going to grade with PSA ever. You don't think you would go to any of the other companies?
Maybe I would. I don't have a reason to believe. The one thing I always say about PSA that I can't stand is that the red label does not look good in a lot of circumstances. If this was a neutral color, then a lot of other cards would look better, and maybe they could have the red on the back. I don't like the idea of a teal card or a purple card or a lot of these other cards being, being just like it's a distraction when I see the red label with another colored card. So, but for me, it's safest. It's like the safest going through PSA. So, I feel like everything else is high risk.
Fair enough.
Anyway, have you been doing anything?
Well, I just telling you before the live stream, we ordered a hot tub 9 months ago. Supply chain issues. We just got it like a week ago. And then we had to reinforce the deck to hold the hot tub, then had to have the electric come in for it. And then we just added the chemicals today. So it's like basically up and running today. So it's
can you do next week's live stream shirtless from inside the hot tub?
Hot tub.
Can you?
Hey, maybe. We'll see.
Hey, you should. Totally should. And then you drop your computer in it. That just to end the show.
Just electrocute myself in the hot tub to end it.
And he's dead.
Well, that got dark really quick.
Thanks for sharing, Jim. Sorry about your.
On that note, we've got 2 minutes and 39 seconds on the timer.
Okay. I mean, yeah. In terms of no special guests. Sorry, Troy. We used that last week, but we appreciate your money.
This is one of our kind of end of the year lame-o live streams. Just trying to hang on, busy life stuff. So
is anything I don't know, anything else going on in terms of like what you're looking for, or let's just, even if we're talking about next year. In fact, I'll tell you what, another topic is on the interview with Josh Luber. I don't know if you heard that one, just in terms of Fanatics and what are some of their responses.
Well, yeah. So going back to what you were just saying, I am doing a video series where I'm picking 50 cards, actually 50 cards / collectibles. And then I'm going to narrow that down to 20 cards / collectibles. And those are going to be my focus items for 2022. Cause I'm kind of all over the place with stuff, whether it be graded video games or comic books or cards. And so I want to have a kind of a more focused approach. Maybe instead of buying some of the smaller stuff, end up getting, a couple of bigger items and stuff like that. So I am going to go into kind of a more, that's my plan. That's going to be different next year than it has been over the last couple, is to have just a more focused approach going in. And there will be a video series on that, Brad. So don't worry. There will be a 5-part series 10
Just
cards for each video. Part 1's already out, so go back through the archive. I know you haven't watched it yet. So
I went back to your archive for my last video.
Oh, yeah. You only go back all the way back to the first video for the archive.
Yeah. I'll only go back to the ones that may embarrass you in front of the world. So
good.
Hey, wait, actually, no, this isn't right.
No, I have to be looking. I'm looking up to. Yeah, I'm looking up over there. Yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Dustin, and put all your money in sports cards. What's that about? Well, stay tuned. I'll tell you what that's about.
Oh, I don't think I can't find stuff on you, man. Don't think.
Oh, I know it's there, but you know what? That's what's
I'll
funny.
Find those skeletons. I'll find those skeletons.
Yeah. Oh, they're there. They're all over the place. Yeah, it's not even that hard of a scavenger hunt, to be honest. But
yeah.
But that's the fun of it. You know, like you can make fun of me, I can make fun of you, and it's like there's no room for ego when we do this because there's too many things to make fun of on both sides. That it's like it is what it is. Anyway.
Yeah. What was the? Oh, and then the other part, I guess, was just quickly on Josh Luber. The one thing that he's just been talking a lot. Oh,
and that's it, guys.
And click bye. I'm out. I
haven't peed yet. This is great. I actually haven't peed yet, but go on.
I'll say quickly, yeah. Josh Luber has definitely been more like pro hobby, like in his interviews, where it's like, I want to see card shops do great. I want to see breakers do great. I want, kind of like all that. I want to see distribution. I want to see cards in every stadium and, store nationwide. But I think that's been more like hobby friendly than maybe what we heard when it first all happened, where it was like hostile takeover.
Yeah. And I like what he says. I like the vibe I get. I mean, I've never met him. I've never interacted. The answers seem genuine and thoughtful, and I think he understands. I don't think he's like a money guy, like as in he's a profit guy, but not really like short-term profit. I think what I got from that interview is that he understands what long-term profit is, and long-term profit means that you're not going after the quick buck. You're saying, all right, what's our 20-year plan? What, like, if Fanatics is taking over, what can we build by 2040 versus how do we make as much money in 2024 and 2025? And I think at least that's the vibe I get. I hope it happens that way, where it's like, let's expand, let's grow, let's keep the balance, let's make it sustainable versus let's just make all the cash and get out. And and that Dutch auction example I thought was really good too.
I agree with that. I like Brett S's Brett S at 947. Luber, did you mean to say Luber up? Collectors?
Yeah, there it is.
Actually, collectors are going to be in heaven because Fanatics is going to have all the product you can even fathom. It'll be there for you. If you want to collect, there will be a zillion different things to collect.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, appreciate you hopping on. I do have to use the restroom now. I saw a lot of great comments here. I'll get Dustin a card for Christmas, probably a picture of me autographed. He'll appreciate that tremendously. And
yeah. It'll be the only card that Brad buys for the rest of the year. Will be a card of himself that he has made, a custom card of himself that he's sending out to people.
Yeah, dude. I saw comments here like, "What cards have I been buying?" I've not bought a thing because I haven't moved my cards. Like that's the problem with all of it is that it needs to be a flow. When it's a flow, it's very easy. When I can move cards, I can buy more. The last 6 months have been a lot of holding inventory, which it's also been a mistake of mine to hold too long and trying to wait for a card to go up, thinking that it will, but then it doesn't.
Hey, you got good news today. You've got PSA 8 select Tom Brady's.
Well, if I find a 7, it's coming your way. But I know you like to buy the card, not the grade. So good thing you believe in that.
I'll just say, yeah, it looks like a 10 to me. Sure, I'll give you money for that, Brad. I love Chadley Wright at 949. If Brad ever goes solo, you can call the show self-centered. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. All right, guys. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend, and we will see you guys shortly.